Boring Naomi wanted to pump the brakes a bit, of course, because, it's not like this storyline's going by as slow as possible. What's up, everybody? Here to talk about today's Friday episode of Beyond the Gates, which was the best episode this week, which isn't saying much because it was a very boring week. But I felt like we ended on a good note as continued progress continues to be made in the Hayley and Bill storyline. Finally, we started today's episode with Dani upset while talking to Naomi, Chelsea, and Kat about how Hayley kicked Naomi and Chelsea out and Bill let it happen. Dani, of course, wanted to go over there and put Bill on notice for alienating their daughters, but they tried to tell Dani it was not a good idea. Dani wanted Kat to back her up, but Kat decided to sit this one out. Dani doesn't listen to Chelsea and Naomi and, of course, headed on over to see Bill anyway. Chelsea, Naomi, and Kat stuck around to talk about Hayley's lies and specifically the Sammy and Randy lie and how that guy is lying about his name. Kat thinks that the Sammy persona is a front. Boring Naomi wanted to pump the brakes a bit, of course, because, it's not like this storyline's going by as slow as possible. But at least Kat said the three of them working together, who knows what they can discover. We know that Kat loves to push her theories and her investigations. At least this time it's for a big deal. Hopefully Kat is able to get somewhere. Bill told Hayley today the way she treated Naomi and Chelsea was unacceptable. Hayley said that they came over being unacceptable and being disrespectful. Bill said that he wasn't going to embarrass her in front of them, but she was wrong. Hayley asked how she should handle their constant disrespect. Bill said it needs to be handled like adults. Hayley got very upset, said she isn't putting up with it anymore. He asked, is she implying that he should ban his daughters from his house? She got upset and said, oh, your house. They kind of tried to rationalize the situation with communication. Hayley apologizing for letting her emotions get the best of her. Hayley's idea is Naomi and Chelsea need to either schedule time with Bill or at least call before coming over. But even though Hayley kept apologizing, Bill was still upset with her. So Hayley left in a huff. And, one woman in Bill's life left in a huff. Another one came in a huff when Dani came on over. Dani can't stay away from Bill. I'm so tired of Dani right now. She is definitely getting on my nerves. I think she's supposed to, the way they've been writing her. I wanted early Dani back from when the show started, and we're kind of getting that in a way, but she's been so pathetic and annoying over this sleeping with Bill in the elevator situation that she's way more annoying than entertaining to me right now. But Dani came over to Bill's screaming for Hayley, wanting to know where Bill's worst half is, saying she's there to stand up for their girls. Dani again threatening that Hayley will have to deal with her like she's dealt with Dani in the past. Bill is upset, arguing with Dani, saying he's done defending himself to her. But Dani doesn't like that Hayley's idea out of this is just to continuously isolate herself from the family. The word isolate coming up a lot with this storyline because that is what Hayley wants to do to Bill while she continues to poison him. Before Dani left, though, of course, we got a softer moment between Dani and Bill. She did want to check up to see how he is feeling. After Dani left, Bill reached out to Chelsea and Naomi to apologize. Bill gave them the scheduling idea and plan, but Chelsea is upset because it sounds like this is Hayley talking, and he did admit that it was Hayley's idea, but that he's just trying to find a solution for everybody, which Chelsea and Naomi tried to be understanding in the end, or at least Naomi did. Chelsea continued to get upset. Hayley, meanwhile, went to go rant to Randy in public, of course. What else is new? They talked about how Bill's vitals are getting worse and how Hayley continues to distract Bill from really getting checked. Hayley says that Bill's ego will be the last nail in his coffin. Well, that and Bill being brain dead when it comes to Hayley, But, Bill is stubborn. Bill does have an ego. And it is why I am Team Hayley in the storyline, still. Even though I don't want Bill to die. But Bill does deserve some suffering because Dani's not going to put him through it, even though she's the one that should be putting him through it, but she's so pathetic. Hayley told Randy that she's been working on something and says that nosy people won't question how Bill met his maker. Hayley told Randy about the new vacation to St. Bart's between her and Bill and how only one of them will come back from it. I'm wondering if earlier this year when they took their first St. Bart's trip and were, hyping it up, if they were going to climax the story back in February, Marchish, and then they changed their minds, let's stall it out much, much longer and lose all momentum in the storyline. And now they're circling back around to St. Bart's. That's my theory. Randy doesn't want to celebrate too soon. Randy said he won't celebrate until his fat paycheck for all of this comes to him. So Randy still just wanting his own cut from this plan between he and Hayley. Vanessa went to go see Joey today. Joey was lost in thought. She knows that he's lost in thought about Heather. They talked about how Heather wanted to take over his family business, or at least this is what Joey talked about, how Heather originally wanted to take over the family business, but their father wouldn't let her. Now she's doing her own thing, and now it seems like Heather has his sights on Joey's operation. And of course, Vanessa isn't going to want that to happen either. Vanessa's just totally Joey's partner now. Joey changed the subject from Heather, and the best way for Joey to occupy their time together was to start making out per usual, which is always disgusting. Deanna interrupted them, told Joey that she hoped she wasn't interrupting anything important. Joey got in the comment about, don't worry, nothing they can't pick up later. If Vanessa wasn't such trash, comments from your new lover to your daughter like that would be gross in my opinion, but this is trash that we are talking about. Deanna asked Joey how business is doing, and he said booming. Joey wants to celebrate the booming business later with Vanessa. Deanna asked Joey if he feels sorry at all and doesn't have any guilt about how he makes his money. He said that guilt isn't good for business. Deanna said that's something a cold-hearted bastard would say. So Joey was able to get under Deanna's skin. Vanessa wanted her to apologize. Vanessa said it was uncalled for. Doesn't want Deanna speaking rudely, even though Joey can make gross comments about, he and her mother fucking later. And that's okay, according to Trash. But anyway, Deanna said that this place isn't good for her. Next time they will meet somewhere else. She did apologize to Joey before leaving. When Deanna left, Vanessa thanked Joey for handling Deanna with ease, saying that Deanna was doing so well. Joey said that Deanna just had a moment. Joey then flashed back to Randy, or having Randy test Deanna to see if she was trying to play Joey, and Deanna failed. And then Deanna did end up running into Randy at Orphe Jeans, told Randy that she crashed out on Joey today. Kat walked in to see Deanna and Randy together. Kat's gathering all this information. They were just talking about this Sammy/Randy guy. Kat and Deanna are close, so Kat and Deanna could talk about this Randy person more in the future. I wish they would compare more notes. Kat did ask Deanna about the guy she was with, and Deanna said that it was Randy, her dad's friend. She's known since she was a kid, but they didn't talk about it more like I kind of wanted them to. I do like that these two stories are kind of colliding a bit. There's some interesting directions that they can go intertwining these storylines, but I don't have faith in these writers to, do that and make the best decisions to do that will bring us some good drama, some good consistent drama, would be loved instead of all this boredom most of the time. But good progress today on the Randy and Hayley front as the walls around Hayley do continue to close in with Kat, Naomi, Chelsea comparing notes, and, Kat loving an investigation, even though she's not a cop. Joey called Randy, told Randy he's not as worried about Deanna anymore, sees that she's an emotional person, and talking about how no attempt at breaking up he and Vanessa is going to work. Dani and Vanessa discussed Hayley and how it seems like Hayley right now just wants Bill all for herself. So Dani is the one kind of putting it together that Hayley wants to isolate Bill. I mean, kind of everyone is. Chelsea, Naomi, Kat too. But I do think Dani is going to play the key part in the story because I do think it's going to be like that Another World storyline from the 80s I talked about yesterday. Dani was talking to Vanessa about how she dropped her sunglasses somewhere, thought it was at the country club, but it wasn't. Hayley returned home to apologize to Bill, but he wasn't home. I did enjoy the relief on Hayley that Bill wasn't home. She was like, thank God, some rest, which did make me chuckle. But Hayley found the sunglasses on the ground, knows it's Dani's, threw the glasses, and that was basically our episode. So, a better episode today. I like that we are making progress in Bill and Hayley. It could go by faster, of course, but we're combining the Deanna, Randy, Joey stuff too with Kat. So I don't want to get my hopes up that we have some potential ways that the storyline can go that could be exciting or dramatic. I hope they're able to go into an interesting path, combining the Kat stuff, the Randy stuff, the Hayley stuff, the Joey stuff, the Deanna stuff. Let's get to it. And then if Lynette ends up being alive, then I'll be much more of a happy camper. So at least we ended the week on a stronger note compared to the rest of this boring week. We'll see what next week brings. I didn't really pay attention to the video preview, so I will talk about that on Sunday per usual. And yeah, that was our week of Beyond the Gates.